Hello everyone, my name is April and welcome to the Yoga Ranger Studio and welcome to a little health and wellness check. So many of you are aware that I took some time off for compassion fatigue, going through a hard time in my life with some caretaker things, and I wanted to share some of the lessons I learned from that in case they can help someone else. So my thought process was to point out that I am not over compassion fatigue, and I think it takes a really long time to get past compassion fatigue and to manage your energy and your time. You'll be dealing with a lot of things as a fallout from that, and so this is not a quick and easy answer, but some of the things that really supported me and were there for me and really helpful as I was working through the hardest parts of compassion fatigue and as I continue to work through it are three things that really became very obvious to me as I stepped on this pathway and began to sort of look at how to restore myself, my energy, my mental energy, my emotional energy, and really set myself up for a healing process. The first thing that came up really quickly and very early on, and in fact came up before I even realized that I was struggling with compassion fatigue, was help. So as someone who is a caretaker and in the health and wellness industry, it can be really hard for someone like myself to ask for help. We are known as the people who you call for help, or the people you lean on for help. We're the helpers. And so we have this whole system in place that we can reach out to support someone else. And yet, weirdly, we never use that support system for ourselves. And I think many of you may feel this way too, but we sit there and we tell ourselves that we'll ask for it when we really need it. And by the time you really need it, it's probably later than you should have asked for help. Along with asking for help from your family, from your friends, from your community, from your work, from the world, from the universe, just really being open to accepting it. And this is where that sort of came up, where I even found out that I was really struggling, was that someone saw one of my videos at the end of the year and reached out and said, you know what, I really feel something about what you're going on and I really want to help you. Would you be willing to accept my help? And on a normal given year, I probably would have said, thank you so much, I really appreciate it, but no, I'm good. I'm good. We've all probably said that. I'm good, I'm fine. But I said yes. I accepted her help. And that has been really pivotal in helping me move forward and really define some boundaries and define where I want to go and manage my energy and really help kind of set a place for myself. And her help has been so important. So she's a life coach and her name is Jenny. And I will put the link to her website down below because I cannot recommend her highly enough for really intuitively guiding me through figuring out who I am and who I want to be and what I want and what I love and what I don't, and really helping me set a whole new view of what I can do with my life. So life coaching, really important, a really great thing to reach out to when you are struggling through compassion fatigue, adrenal fatigue, exhaustion, burnout, any of those things, or just need somebody to sort of bounce ideas off of and to ask some hard questions and make you really think about what you want and where you want to go. So accepting help, saying yes to the people who say, can I help you? What can I do for you? Can I help you with that? Say yes. Don't imagine that you can still do everything that you once did. And there is nothing wrong with asking for help and accepting help and letting people help you. And in fact, I learned some things about this and about myself. Letting people help you makes them feel really good. You are helping someone feel really good because they're helping you, and helping someone feels good. All of us who are caretakers, who are caring for other people in the world, we know that. We know that when we help someone, it feels really good. We feel really useful and a really deep contributor to the welfare of the world in that way. So by accepting someone's help, we're giving them that same beautiful gift back. And we're getting assistance, which is super important. It could be something as simple as someone saying, I can go pick up your groceries, or can I pick up your child after school, or can I help you with this? Can we sit down and I'll help you write this out, or let me write that up for you. Accept help. People are out there and they want to help you, and accepting help is huge in really moving through this kind of situation. Overall, honestly, I've learned a lot about accepting help overall. The second thing was you're going to need to break some stuff. And I mean big stuff. You're going to need to break a bunch of ideas that you had about what you should, what you must, what you have to do, what people expect of you, what society expects of you. You're going to need to break some habits. They're not even bad habits, but you may have some habits that you're going to need to break. You're going to break those patterns because you need to set something new in place, because what's happening here is no longer working as well as it might. You might find that things that you were doing previously, like rituals or patterns of behavior that you were doing, were working, but it's clear that they're not, because you're in compassion fatigue, you're in burnout, you're exhausted, you're in adrenal fatigue. So something over here is not working. So you're going to need to break some stuff so that you can put some new stuff in place. You need some new things, so some stuff has to get broken. I think that for me, a lot of habits, a lot of patterns that I had of behavior or interaction with people needed to be broken. Expectations that I believed other people had of me, but probably have more to do with my personal perception of others' expectations of me, rather than actual reality in what people expect. I had to break some ideas of what I'm required to do in my work, in my personal life, in my relationships. I do not always have to be the person in charge of making everything fun. I do not have to be the person in charge of delivering product every single week constantly, new and fresh and bright and shiny. So I had to break some ideas and some impressions and perceptions so that I could put new ways of thinking in place. It turned from, and Jenny really helped me with this in life coaching, is that it turned from what I should, what I have to, what I must, and what people are expecting me to do, to what I really want to do, what brings me joy, what do I love, what lights me up. And I started to look at everything I was doing in a totally different light. So I had to break these old ideas to put new ones in place and turn them around so I could see the world through what I really wanted and how I wanted it to be for myself. So you're going to need to break a lot of stuff. The third thing is probably the most important. I'm probably going to need to make a whole video just on this because I'm still in the process of figuring out. But you need boundaries. Boundaries are sacred, and I want to put that in capital letters, sacred. They are sacred boundaries. The sacred no and the sacred yes are real things. Boundaries for what you have enough time, space, energy, emotion, mental energy for is a real thing. You're going to have to find where you can set boundaries so that people's expectations are matching that. And it's going to be rough. Boundaries are really rough. Boundaries, telling people that what you let them get away with or say or do for a long period of time is no longer acceptable because you cannot do it anymore, is going to be rough. It's going to be challenging. But as a people pleaser myself, I understand just how hard that is to tell people no, or to say, I'm sorry, this is just not working for me. If the relationships are real, if things are meant to be, those boundaries will make them stronger. I've been very clear to state in some of my personal relationships that things that you have said or done prior to now, I'm not focusing on them, but I will not allow them to continue. And standing really strong on that. And so sometimes you're going to have to do some fun, weird stuff to do that. My methodology was to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. So some of the people that were constantly texting me and demanding a lot of emotional energy that I just didn't have to give away can no longer reach me all the time. I choose to look at the phone and open those text messages when I feel ready and when I am prepared mentally and emotionally and I feel like I can handle them. That being said, I understand there are emergencies, and I feel the same way. I feel like, well, what if there's an emergency? What if something happens? You know, even if there's an emergency, it's not like you can do anything about it, right? You'll answer it soon. It's not like you're like ignoring it for a week. You're gonna look at the text messages at some point, but you're gonna have to set some boundaries. I started to turn my phone off at night from 8 p.m. until 9 a.m. in the morning, and I wouldn't look at the phone at all before I went to bed or right as I woke up, so that I could really have some time to rest and to settle my mind and my body and prepare myself. I have a whole morning practice that I do that is affirmation, invocation, metta meditation, pranayama, yoga, really a practice that helps me physically, mentally, and emotionally settle and prepare for a day for whatever comes my way. So setting those boundaries in place, I've made it clear that these are things that need to be in place for me, and please do not disturb those. And people have been very respectful of those. So boundaries are something you have to constantly keep reminding people about, because they'll start to nudge them. You know, they always like to push that line. Imagine the toddler who always likes to ask the circular question where they try to get what they want, asking multiple ways, multiple times, until you're too tired and you just give up and say yes. People are always like that. They're always going to try to push that boundary a little bit more because they have needs. And I understand that, but remember that you too have needs. And if you are in compassion fatigue or adrenal fatigue or exhaustion or burnout, you are no longer able to help anyone. Certainly not them or anybody else or even yourself at this point. So you've got to set those in place. So these are the three things I've learned the most about, and I'll probably go into more detail about these as I kind of develop more skills around them, but definitely ask for help. Accept help when offered. People are willing and able to give that to you, and they care about you, and they're offering. Make sure that you break some stuff so you can put some new stuff in place, because what has been happening is clearly not working anymore. So you're going to need to put some new things in place. So it's okay with you breaking a few things: patterns, perceptions, beliefs, old ideas, old habits, and setting those sacred boundaries, knowing deep down inside, and just keep this in your mind, because this is what's really helped me, is the sacred no. I have the right to say no. No explanation. Just no. It's no with a period after it and nothing else to it. And no one is allowed to demand that I explain why that is the way it is. It is just no. So allow yourself to say no, because allowing yourself to say no means that you can say yes to some other things that might be really amazing, powerful, and life-changing for you and other people. So say no when you need to say no, right? If you don't love it, it doesn't light you up, it's a must-have, have to, should, maybe it's time to consider whether we need to use the sacred no here and divert somewhere else. Well, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for sitting here and kind of hanging out with me. I'm going through a few more of these things, and as I go, I hope this helps and gives you some ideas and maybe some tips on how you too can begin to work your way through adrenal fatigue and exhaustion, compassion fatigue, emotional overwhelm, anything where you feel just really exhausted, whether it be mentally, emotionally, energetically, or physically. These are some ways to start, some places to start. And those three things will all apply to all of those aspects of you, taking that time to take care of yourself, right? This is self-care at its best. Please check down below for that life coaching link, or if you know a life coach and they've been sort of reaching out to you, now might be a great time to sit down and meet with a life coach and find out what you want, what your dreams are, what's your best life, what does your best day look like, what does your best life look like, and how can you make that happen? So Jenny's link will be down below. Check her out. She's wonderful, and I hope to see you all again very soon as I work through these things and possibly you work through them with me. Thank you.